The exploration vessel Aurora drifted silently through the endless black of space. Its metal hull gleamed faintly in the glow of distant stars, and inside, the crew prepared for landing. For months, they had followed the strange energy signals coming from an uncharted planet at the edge of the known galaxy. Now, as the blue and green orb filled the view screen, anticipation and tension ran high. Captain Aiden Voss stood at the bridge, his hands resting lightly on the rail. He was a man of experience with years in deep space exploration, but even he could feel the unease in the ship's atmosphere. "Sensors show unusual readings," he said, his voice calm but serious. "Energy patterns unlike anything we've seen. Stay sharp. This could be more than a routine survey." Lieutenant Mira Santos nodded, her eyes fixed on the planet. "Captain, readings are off the charts. There's something here, something big. Big and unpredictable," Aiden replied. "I want the landing team ready. No surprises. No risks we don't control." As the Aurora descended through the thin atmosphere, the crew marveled at the landscape below. Jagged mountains twisted into the clouds. Rivers of glowing liquid wound across valleys, and vast forests shimmered with soft, bioluminescent light. Strange. Floating particles drifted in the air like sparks from a fire, reacting to the ship's energy fields. The landing pad was a flat clearing near a massive crystalline structure that rose from the ground like a cathedral of glass. Its surface reflected the strange light of the planet, pulsing gently, almost like it was alive. No human technology could have built something so vast and perfect. "Look at that," whispered Dr. Elena Torres, the team's lead scientist. It's beautiful, and completely alien." Aiden nodded, but did not take his eyes off the structure. "Stay focused. We don't know if it's safe." The crew suited up and stepped onto the planet's surface. The air was breathable but had a faint metallic taste. The ground under their boots felt solid, but strange vibrations ran through it like the heartbeat of something enormous. "Keep sensors active," Aiden instructed. "Move in formation. No one goes alone." They approached the crystalline structure, and the closer they got, the more the air seemed to hum. It was not a sound but a feeling, a pressure that pressed lightly on their minds. Elena raised her hand to touch the surface. The crystal pulsed under her fingers, sending a ripple of energy through her body. Her eyes widened in shock. "It's communicating," she murmured. "I can feel it. Some kind of awareness." Suddenly, the ground shook slightly and the air thickened with energy. From within the crystal, a figure began to emerge. It was immense, taller than any human, with a form both elegant and terrifying. Its skin shimmered with the same light as the crystal, and its eyes glowed like twin stars. The alien queen had arrived. Time seemed to slow as she moved forward, her presence commanding and quiet at the same time. The humans instinctively froze, their training failing them under the weight of something so utterly alien. She did not speak at first. Her eyes swept over the crew, scanning every face, every gesture, every tiny movement. Then her voice filled the clearing, not with words, but in their minds. It was clear, cold, and deep, reverberating in every thought simultaneously. "Are you alone?" The question was simple, yet it carried a weight that pressed on their hearts. Every member of the landing team felt it, a probe that reached past their bodies and into their very minds. No one breathed. No one dared to move. Aiden swallowed hard. We are not alone," he said finally, his voice shaky though he tried to sound steady. "We are humans. We came in peace." The queen tilted her head slightly as if amused by his answer. Then she lifted her arms and the air shimmered around her. Strange shapes formed, floating symbols, glowing lines, and geometric patterns that hovered like a living map. They pulsed and shifted as if alive, and the crew could feel them pressing into their thoughts. Elena stepped forward carefully. "We mean no harm. We are explorers, scientists, travelers seeking knowledge. We wish to understand your world." The queen's eyes narrowed. "Knowledge comes at a cost," she said, again inside their minds. "And intentions are measured not by words, but by actions." Her form pulsed, and suddenly the ground beneath the humans shifted. The energy from the crystal spread outwards, forming a translucent bridge that hovered in the air, leading toward a cavern within the structure. It was a silent invitation, or perhaps a challenge. Mira glanced at Aiden. "Captain, we should wait. We don't know what she wants." "This could be a trap," Aiden nodded. "Understood. But we also cannot ignore this. Our mission is to explore and learn. We move together, stay alert, and keep communication open." The crew stepped onto the floating bridge, feeling the strange energy respond to their presence. Each step was weightless, as if they were walking on air. The Queen moved ahead of them, gliding effortlessly, her presence guiding them deeper into the crystalline structure. Inside, the walls reflected every movement. The air was alive with light, and strange symbols floated like stars in the sky. The humans could feel themselves being studied, measured, and understood. It was not hostile, but it was not friendly either. It was evaluation. Elena couldn't stop herself from touching one of the floating symbols. Instantly, visions filled her mind. Alien cities, vast networks of crystal, energy flowing like rivers, creatures unlike anything she had imagined. She staggered back, overwhelmed. "Focus!" Aiden barked gently. "We're here to observe, not to get lost in visions." The Queen stopped at the center of the chamber. Her gaze fell on Aiden and Elena, then shifted to the rest of the crew. The light around her intensified, and for a moment it felt as if the entire planet had stopped breathing. "You are different," she said, her voice echoing in their minds. "Most creatures come with fear, aggression, or greed. You carry something else: curiosity, courage, unity." Mira whispered almost to herself. "I think she's judging us." The Queen's eyes glowed brighter. "I will test you, not with force, but with understanding. You may proceed or fail. Your choice will define your place here." The humans exchanged nervous glances. A test. That explained the visions, the symbols, and the strange energy around them. But what kind of test? And what would happen if they failed? Aiden straightened, trying to project confidence he didn't fully feel. "We accept your test. We want to learn. We want peace." The Queen seemed to pause, as if considering. Then slowly she lowered her arms, and the energy around the chamber shifted into a calm, steady glow. "Very well," she said. "The path begins. Observe, understand, and act. Your choices will be measured. Fail, and your presence will be erased. Succeed, and knowledge and opportunity will open before you." The humans nodded, determination mingling with fear. Each of them felt the weight of responsibility, not just for themselves, but for all of humanity. They were representing their species, standing in the presence of something far beyond human comprehension. As they moved deeper into the structure, the hum of energy grew louder, filling their minds with possibilities and warnings alike. Every step was a test, every gesture observed. They had entered a world where strength alone would not save them. Only intelligence, courage, and unity could carry them forward. Outside, the mist of the alien planet swirled gently around the crystalline structure, as if the world itself were alive and watching. The alien Queen stood at the center, her form glowing like a beacon, silently observing, silently judging. And the humans walked forward, hearts racing, minds alert, ready to face whatever came next. The deeper the humans walked into the alien structure, the stranger and more beautiful it became. The walls shimmered with colors that seemed impossible, shifting and blending like liquid rainbows. Strange symbols floated in the air, glowing softly and moving in patterns that suggested thought. Every step the crew took sent ripples of light through the floor, as if the structure itself was alive and responding to them. Captain Aiden Voss led the team cautiously, his senses alert. "Stay together. Keep scanning," he instructed. "We don't know what she expects, but we can't afford mistakes." Lieutenant Mira Santos adjusted the energy scanner strapped across her chest. "Captain, the readings are unusual. Not just energy, but intelligence. The structure seems to be analyzing us. It's like the planet itself can think." Dr. Elena Torres, walking slightly behind, nodded. "And not just analyzing. It's learning. Each of our movements, each gesture, each reaction, she's recording it. I feel it in my mind, like a presence pressing gently but firmly." The humans had reached a vast chamber, the ceiling disappearing into glowing mist far above. In the center hovered a massive holographic formation, a labyrinth of light constantly shifting and rearranging itself. Pathways rose and fell, bridges connected to nowhere, and barriers flickered in and out of existence. The alien Queen's voice echoed in their minds. "This is your first challenge. Navigate the labyrinth or remain trapped." The crew froze. A labyrinth was not a simple puzzle. It was a test of intelligence, observation, and creativity. But the strange energy around them suggested this was more than just a mental exercise. Failure might have consequences far beyond mere frustration. Elena stepped forward carefully. "We have to work together. Observe patterns, communicate, share ideas. If we do this as a team, we have a chance, Aiden nodded. Agreed. Mira, keep scanning for energy fluctuations. Elena, help us understand the patterns. Everyone else, stay alert. The humans moved into the labyrinth. The floor beneath them shifted lightly with each step, rearranging the path as if reacting to their choices. Bridges disappeared if they lingered too long, and new pathways opened when they thought creatively. It was as though the labyrinth could sense hesitation and reward decisiveness. Hours passed, though the humans could not be sure of time. The glowing walls and floating symbols made it difficult to gauge how long they had been inside. They encountered paths that led to dead ends, floors that vanished, and doors that only appeared when approached from a certain angle. Mira discovered that the labyrinth responded to mental focus as well. When the team concentrated, pathways solidified. When they doubted, the floors trembled. It's testing more than our intelligence, she said. It's testing courage, confidence, teamwork. It wants to know if we trust each other. Aiden agreed. Then we stay calm. Trust the team. No second guessing. Every choice matters. Dr. Elena Torres's mind was drawn to the floating symbols. She reached out tentatively, letting her fingers hover near one. Instantly, a vision filled her mind. Images of the alien planet's past, the history of the Queen's people, and the countless civilizations that had tried and failed to meet her challenges. Elena staggered back, overwhelmed. The others caught her, steadying her. Elena, focus, Aiden urged. We can't get lost in visions. We need solutions. Elena took a deep breath, regaining control. She's showing me possibilities, outcomes, lessons from history. We need to learn from them, not get trapped in fear. Step by step, the humans navigated the labyrinth. Each member contributed uniquely. Mira's tactical mind spotted energy patterns that revealed hidden paths. Max, the young engineer, used his intuition and improvisation to create temporary bridges of light using the labyrinth's energy. Elena interpreted the symbols, deciphering patterns that guided their decisions. And Aiden coordinated, keeping everyone focused and calm under immense pressure. Suddenly, a barrier rose ahead, blocking the path entirely. It pulsed with a bright red glow, reacting to their presence. The humans realized it was more than a physical obstacle. It was a challenge that required sacrifice and courage. This barrier reacts to fear, Mira observed. It senses hesitation. If we step forward together with confidence, it may open. Aiden took a steadying breath. We move as one. Trust each other, now. They stepped forward in unison. The barrier shivered, pulsed, and then dissolved, revealing a path forward. A collective sigh of relief echoed among the team, though none dared relax entirely. The labyrinth was still testing, still watching. Hours, or perhaps days, seemed to pass in this strange space. The humans faced delusions, false paths, and even visions of themselves failing the challenge. At one point, Max saw a vision of himself trapped in a collapsing bridge, with the others unable to save him. Panic rose in him, but a hand on his shoulder reminded him. Teamwork was their strength. Together they pushed forward. The Queen's voice returned, calm and quiet in their minds. You show persistence. You show unity. You understand that knowledge is not possession, but shared. This is rare. Elena's eyes widened. She's praising us, but I can feel her still testing us. This is only the beginning. As they approached what seemed to be the center of the labyrinth, the energy around them thickened. The floor began to shift rapidly, threatening to throw them off balance. The walls moved closer, creating narrow corridors that tested their coordination and reflexes. Max took a deep breath and improvised. Using a portable energy stabilizer, he projected a temporary field that locked the floor in place. Hold steady, he shouted. The team followed, carefully moving through the now stable corridor. Finally, they reached a massive chamber at the heart of the labyrinth. Here the air was still and heavy with expectation. The alien queen waited, her presence commanding and calm. She did not move, but the room seemed alive with her energy. You have navigated the labyrinth, she said, her voice deep and resonant in their minds. Most who come before me fail at the first test. You show creativity, courage, and trust. You are interesting. Aiden stepped forward. Thank you. We respect your world and your wisdom. We hope to learn, not to harm. The Queen's eyes glowed brighter. Your words matter little. Action defines intention. You have chosen wisely, but the universe is vast and challenges never end. You must continue to prove your worth. Suddenly the chamber shifted. Holographic walls displayed scenes of distant planets, strange technologies, and creatures unlike any the humans had seen. The Queen's presence pulsed through the room. You will see what others could not endure. You will learn, and you will act. Only then will you find your place in this galaxy. Elena stepped closer, curiosity burning in her eyes. What do you want from us? Why test humanity? The Queen's gaze softened slightly, though still powerful. Most species fail because they seek only power or comfort. Humans, you have potential. You combine curiosity, courage, and compassion. I test you to measure if this potential can be realized. If so, you may survive where others did not. If not, you may be forgotten. Aiden nodded. We understand. We are ready for whatever comes next. The Queen extended her hand. The chamber transformed again, this time creating a pathway of floating platforms leading outward. Step forward. Your next trial begins now. And remember, strength alone is meaningless. Only unity and understanding can guide you through the unknown. The humans glanced at one another, determination burning in their eyes. Fear was still present, but they had learned that hesitation could be deadly. They had survived the first test together, and that unity was their greatest strength. Step by step, they moved forward, floating across the platforms toward the next challenge. The alien queen watched silently, her presence both daunting and strangely encouraging. And in the vast silence of the alien structure, one thought lingered in the minds of the humans. The universe was far more complex and alive than they had ever imagined, and they were only beginning to understand their place in it. The humans moved cautiously across the floating platforms that extended from the heart of the labyrinth. Each platform was solid but seemed alive, shifting slightly underfoot as if testing their balance and focus. The air was thick with the alien energy of the structure, a silent presence that pressed gently against their thoughts. Captain Aiden Voss led the team with careful steps, his eyes scanning every movement. Stay alert. This is no ordinary pathway. I have a feeling things will get harder from here, he said quietly. Dr. Elena Torres, her mind still brimming with the visions of the labyrinth, nodded. She's showing us more than just tests. She's revealing possibilities, dangers, and maybe opportunities. Lieutenant Mira Santos glanced around nervously. I don't like it here. The energy is strong, almost like it could control us if we lose focus. Max, the young engineer, stayed close to Elena, his hands lightly touching the energy stabilizer he had used earlier. I've never seen anything like this, he said. It's like the planet itself is alive and the Queen is its mind. Suddenly, the calm of the platforms was shattered. From the mist beyond the edges of the floating path, shadows emerged, creatures unlike any the humans had seen. They moved with lightning speed, their limbs long and twisted, their eyes glowing a fierce orange. They had no voices, but their presence radiated aggression, and the humans could feel their intent to attack. Defensive positions, Aiden barked. The crew drew energy weapons, but the Queen's voice echoed in their minds before they could act. Do not kill them, she said, firm and calm. This is another part of your test. Courage is not measured by destruction, but by wisdom and control. The humans froze, their fingers tightening on their weapons. These were dangerous creatures, yet the Queen demanded restraint. It was a test of ingenuity as well as bravery. The first creature lunged at Max, its claws barely missing him. With quick thinking, Max activated a temporary energy field from his stabilizer, repelling the creature without harming it. The others followed suit, using light barriers and clever maneuvers to keep the predators at bay. They are fast and strong, Mira whispered. We have to think, not just fight. Aiden nodded. We need a plan. Observe, predict, and use the environment. We can't rely on brute force. Elena pointed to the floating platforms. The creatures are responding to fear and aggression. If we stay calm and move as one, we can outsmart them. The Queen is watching not just what we do, but how we do it. Step by step, the humans advanced, keeping tight formation. When a creature attempted to leap onto a platform, Max altered the energy fields to guide it back safely into the mist. They did not harm the predators, but they kept themselves protected, using teamwork and intelligence to navigate the challenge. Hours seemed to pass in this tense dance between predator and human. The creatures tested every weakness, every hesitation, but the humans adapted, communicating silently through gestures and brief signals. Their unity became their shield, their courage their weapon. At one point, the creatures attempted to isolate Mira, circling her on two sides. Max quickly extended a barrier and Aiden moved to cover her path. Elena used a projection of light to distract the predators, creating a path for Mira to escape. "Good work," Aiden said quietly, keeping his tone steady. "Teamwork, remember? That's what she's testing." The Queen's voice returned, calm and approving. "You show understanding. Strength without wisdom is nothing. You have learned restraint, courage, and unity. This is rare among those who come to my world." Even as her words filled their minds, the humans sensed that the challenge was not yet over. The creatures did not retreat entirely. They circled, but at a distance, waiting. It was a subtle reminder that danger could always return, and vigilance was essential. Elena's mind was racing. She's teaching us to survive without violence, to think creatively. These creatures could have killed us, but she wants to see if we can overcome fear without destruction. Aiden nodded. Exactly. That's humanity's edge. We can be strong, yes, but we can also be wise, careful, and cooperative. That's what she wants to see. Step by step, they moved forward toward a massive archway at the edge of the chamber. Beyond it, the energy pulsed even stronger, and strange light patterns danced across the walls. The humans could feel the Queen's presence intensifying, testing their focus, courage, and resolve. As they approached the archway, the creatures made one final attempt to stop them. This time they moved in coordinated strikes, working together with surprising intelligence. But the humans were ready. Using everything they had learned from previous encounters, they created a synchronized plan. Max manipulated the energy platforms to form safe paths, while Mira and Elena guided the creatures' movements away from the humans' path. Aiden coordinated every action, keeping the team calm and efficient. For the first time, the humans began to feel a sense of control over the situation, not domination, but mastery of their own courage and intellect. The creatures, sensing that their efforts were being countered without aggression, gradually retreated into the mist. The humans allowed them to leave, showing restraint and respect for life even in the face of danger. The chamber fell silent, save for the soft hum of alien energy. The humans gathered together, hearts still racing but faces calm. "You did well," the Queen's voice echoed gently. "Most fail at this stage. They fight blindly or panic. You adapt. You work together. You show the strength of intelligence, courage, and compassion. This is rare." Elena's hands trembled slightly as she spoke. She really is testing every part of us. Not just our strength, but our minds, our hearts." Aiden looked at his team. "And we are passing together, that's what matters." The Queen stepped forward, her form glowing brighter. "The path continues. The next trial is not just survival, but understanding. You will encounter choices that define your intentions. You will be measured not by what you can destroy, but by what you can create, protect, and understand." The humans nodded, ready to follow. Each member felt a growing respect for the alien Queen. She was not merely a ruler or a test giver. She was a force of wisdom, a guardian of life and knowledge, and humanity had the chance to prove itself worthy in her presence. As they moved past the archway, the chamber transformed again. Holographic projections showed scenes of distant worlds, civilizations rising and falling, and beings making choices that shaped their destinies. The humans realized that their next trial would require not only courage, but empathy, creativity, and moral judgment. "Whatever comes next," Mira said quietly, "we have to trust ourselves and each other. That's the only way we'll succeed." Aiden placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We've already shown courage and unity. Now we prove our understanding. That's what makes us human. That's why she's watching us." Max looked ahead, determination in his eyes. "I never thought I'd see something like this. A challenge not just of skill, but of character. I'm ready." Elena smiled faintly, still awed by the experience. "This is beyond science, beyond exploration. This is about who we are as a species, and how far we can rise when we act together." The humans advanced further into the structure, leaving the chamber and the creatures behind. The Queen watched them, her eyes glowing softly with a mixture of curiosity and approval. In her long existence, she had seen countless civilizations fail these trials. Humans, she noted silently, were different. Their courage was tempered with wisdom. Their strength was guided by compassion. Their unity was their greatest weapon. The humans did not yet know what lay ahead. They could sense that the challenges would grow, and that danger, uncertainty, and temptation awaited them. But they had learned that fear was not a barrier. It was a tool. That unity was not just strategy, it was survival. And that courage was not simply facing enemies, it was facing the unknown with intelligence and heart. Step by step, they moved deeper into the unknown, aware that every choice would be watched, every action measured, and every moment an opportunity to prove humanity's worth. And above them, the alien queen remained silent and imposing, yet strangely expectant. She had seen potential in the humans, something rare, something extraordinary. The next trials would reveal if they could fulfill it. For the first time, the humans began to believe not in the technology they carried, not in the weapons they wielded, but in themselves, in their courage, their intelligence, and the unity that bound them together. The labyrinth of light, the creatures of the mist, the shifting platforms, all of it had been a test. And humanity had passed not through power but through heart, mind, and spirit. And in the depths of the alien structure, the next challenge waited, more dangerous, more complex, more revealing than anything before. But the humans were ready, and that, the alien queen silently understood, was worth watching. The humans stepped into a vast chamber that seemed to stretch beyond the limits of the structure. Light cascaded from above in soft, flowing beams, painting the walls with colors that shifted as they moved. Holographic projections floated in the air, showing strange landscapes, alien cities, and intricate energy networks. The air was calm but thick with anticipation. Captain Aiden Voss led the team forward, eyes alert. "Stay focused," he said. "This is different from before. No attacks, no immediate danger, but I can feel that the challenge is still ahead." Dr. Elena Torres's eyes scanned the holographic projections. "This is incredible," she whispered. "It's not a trap or a test of strength. It's information, but information we have to understand to move forward." Lieutenant Mira Santos studied the energy patterns flowing along the walls. "It's like the planet itself is teaching us something. The Queen wants us to learn, not just survive." Max adjusted the portable energy stabilizer on his belt. "So far, every trial has taught us something new about ourselves. I think she's looking for more than bravery now. She wants to see how we think, how we care, how we understand." From the center of the chamber, the alien queen emerged. Her towering form radiated light, her eyes calm yet piercing. She did not speak aloud, but her thoughts entered the humans' minds clearly, gently yet powerfully. "You have survived fear," she said. "You have shown courage. You have demonstrated unity. But survival alone is not enough. To proceed, you must understand more than yourself. You must understand life, intention, and consequence." Aiden stepped forward. "We are ready to learn. Please show us what you wish us to understand." The Queen's hands rose and the holographic projections shifted, displaying scenes of distant worlds, some thriving with life and others desolate and empty. The humans watched as civilizations rose, flourished, and fell. Some fell due to natural disasters, others because of war, greed, or ignorance. "You see," the Queen said, "knowledge is not simply about power. It is about how choices shape the future. Every action has a consequence. Every life has value. You must see the threads that connect one to another and act with awareness." Elena stepped closer, awe in her eyes. "She's teaching us responsibility. That understanding is more than observation. It is compassion and wisdom applied." Mira nodded. "We have been tested in courage and intelligence. Now it's about empathy, right? About how we choose to act for others, not just ourselves." The Queen's form shimmered. "Correct. You will face a challenge that tests your understanding, your care, and your creativity. You will be given a problem that cannot be solved by force. Only collaboration, insight, and respect for life will allow success." The projections shifted again, showing a scene of a small alien settlement under threat. A natural disaster, a massive storm of energy was approaching. The settlement's inhabitants were intelligent, peaceful creatures, but helpless to stop the storm. "This is your next trial," the Queen explained. "You must protect life, stabilize the environment, and ensure survival. You may use knowledge, ingenuity, and cooperation, but you may not destroy life or dominate it. You must act as guides, as protectors, not as conquerors." The humans exchanged determined glances. Aiden said, "Then we do what we do best. Work together, think carefully, and act wisely. We can't fail this." The chamber dissolved into a simulation. Suddenly, they were standing on a platform overlooking the alien settlement. The sky glowed with strange colors as the energy storm approached. They could see the inhabitants below, tiny but intelligent, moving in confusion and fear. Max assessed the situation. The storm is massive and it's unpredictable. We'll need to stabilize the energy flow to protect them, but we can't interfere violently. If we do, we'll fail the Queen's test. Elena studied the environment. Look at the energy currents. They are chaotic, but if we redirect them carefully, we can shield the settlement. It will take precise control and timing. We'll need everyone's skills. Aiden nodded. Then we begin. Mira, guide the team on positioning. Max, focus on energy stabilization. Elena, help coordinate the flow with the patterns we see. I'll oversee the operation and coordinate the inhabitants' evacuation safely. The humans sprang into action. Using their combined knowledge and quick thinking, they worked in perfect coordination. Max manipulated energy channels, creating protective shields over the settlement. Mira guided the inhabitants calmly to safe zones, using gestures and her voice to reassure them. Elena interpreted the shifting energy currents, predicting their changes and instructing Max on adjustments. Aiden coordinated every movement, making split-second decisions to prevent disaster. The storm raged closer, its force immense and unpredictable. But the humans did not falter. They adapted to every shift, every surge of energy, protecting the settlement without harming the storm or the creatures below. Hours passed in this tense, delicate operation. Every member of the team contributed their skill, knowledge, and insight. They learned to trust not only each other, but also the judgment of the settlement's inhabitants. They did not impose control. They guided, supported, and collaborated. Finally, the storm began to subside. The energy currents calmed, the sky returned to its soft glow, and the inhabitants of the settlement emerged, safe and unharmed. They looked at the humans with wonder and gratitude, as if recognizing that these strange beings from another world had saved them without taking anything in return. The simulation dissolved. The humans found themselves back in the Queen's chamber. She regarded them with eyes that glowed softly, a mixture of approval and curiosity in her gaze. "You have done well," she said. "You have shown understanding, creativity, and care. You have not destroyed life. You have not imposed your will. You have guided, protected, and collaborated. This is the quality I value above all, wisdom applied with compassion." Elena exhaled, relief and pride flooding her mind. "We did it, together, and without harming anyone." Mira smiled faintly. "That was incredible. It wasn't just a test of skill or courage. It was a test of heart." The Queen's form shimmered brighter. "Most species fail this trial. They act out of fear or aggression or desire to control. You have shown that humanity has potential beyond mere survival. You are capable of wisdom, courage, and empathy combined." Aiden stepped forward. "We are honored by your words. We do not seek power or dominance. We seek understanding, knowledge, and peace." The Queen tilted her head slightly as if studying him deeply. "And that is why you are of interest. I have observed many civilizations rise and fall, many who thought themselves powerful, but few understood the responsibility that comes with awareness. You have begun to understand." She extended a glowing hand and the chamber transformed once more. This time images of distant stars and planets appeared, connected by glowing lines of energy. It was a map of the galaxy, showing places of knowledge, danger, and opportunity. "You may take what you have learned here into the universe," the Queen said. "I offer you an alliance, access to knowledge and insight beyond your current understanding. In return, you must honor life, protect knowledge, and act with wisdom. You may become allies of this world, and perhaps one day guides for others who come after you." The humans looked at each other, awe and wonder written across their faces. Elena whispered, "She's offering us more than knowledge. She's offering trust," Mira nodded. "And that trust must be earned and respected. We can't take it lightly." Aiden turned to the Queen, his voice steady. "We accept your offer. We will honor this trust and protect what you have shown us. Humanity will act with care, courage, and wisdom." The Queen's eyes glowed brightly, and for the first time she spoke words aloud, though soft and melodic. "Then our bond begins. You have proven yourselves worthy of this opportunity. The universe is vast and many challenges await, but with understanding, unity, and courage, you may face them and rise." The humans felt a warmth in their minds, a connection that went beyond words. Knowledge, insight, and guidance flowed into them, not as simple data, but as understanding and awareness. They realized that this was the greatest gift the Queen could give, not just technology, but the wisdom to use it rightly. Aiden looked at his team. "We have done more than survive. We have learned, and we have been trusted. That is our responsibility now. Elena smiled. It's more than any of us imagined, but I feel ready. We've grown. We've shown who we are as humans. The Queen's form began to shimmer and rise, her presence gradually receding into the ambient light of the chamber. Go forth, humans. Protect, learn, and guide. Your trials are not over, but your place has begun. Remember, strength is not measured by power, but by wisdom and compassion. The humans bowed, silently acknowledging the Queen's words and the bond they had formed. They had faced fear, danger, and uncertainty, and had emerged stronger, wiser, and united. As they prepared to leave the chamber, the knowledge and wisdom imparted to them glowed within their minds. The alien Queen watched, silent and proud, knowing that humanity had shown a rare potential. And in that moment the humans understood. They were no longer merely explorers. They were allies, learners, and protectors in a universe that was both beautiful and vast. The humans stepped out of the alien structure and onto the glowing surface of the uncharted planet. The air was alive with soft energy, the mist swirling gently around the crystalline walls. The lessons of the Queen's trials, courage, unity, intelligence, and compassion, still resonated within their minds. Each step they took felt lighter, yet filled with purpose. Captain Aiden Voss glanced back at the colossal crystalline structure. We've done more than survive, he said quietly. We've learned. We've been trusted. Dr. Elena Torres touched the glowing surface gently. This place emits alive in a way I never imagined. And the Queen, she isn't just a guardian, she's a guide. She's shown us the path, but we have to walk it ourselves. Lieutenant Mira Santos nodded, watching the horizon where the alien sun was setting. It feels different here. Not dangerous, not threatening, just aware, and maybe even hopeful. Max, the young engineer, adjusted the energy stabilizer on his belt. I can't believe we did all of that. Every test, every creature, every challenge, it's like she wanted to see if we could rise to more than just survival. And we did. The crew boarded the Aurora, their minds buzzing with new knowledge. The ship's systems had never felt so alive, as if the energy and wisdom they had absorbed from the Queen now flowed through their own technology. As the ship lifted off the planet, the crystalline structure below pulsed softly, a farewell or a blessing. It was hard to tell. The alien Queen's presence lingered in their minds, calm and approving. You have learned much. Her voice resonated gently. Not just courage, not just skill, but understanding. You have shown what it means to be human. Your unity and wisdom are rare in the galaxy. Remember this. The universe is vast and many will test you. Face them with the strength of your mind and the heart of your spirit. Aiden stared out at the stars, absorbing her words. We will. Humanity will honor this gift, and we will continue to grow, learn, and protect what is valuable. Elena spoke softly, still marveling at the experience. We saw civilizations rise and fall, choices shaping life itself. She's taught us responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for everything we encounter. Mira leaned back in her seat. And we've proven ourselves, haven't we? Not through weapons or strength, but through wisdom, courage, and teamwork. That's what she was watching for all along. Max smiled faintly. I think this is only the beginning. The Queen has shown us what's possible. Now it's up to us to carry it forward. The ship navigated past asteroid fields and glowing clouds of cosmic dust, leaving the planet behind. The crew worked together seamlessly, each member aware of the skills, knowledge, and insight they had gained. Communication flowed effortlessly, their decisions guided not just by logic but by understanding. On the bridge, Aiden looked at his team. Every challenge she gave us was a lesson, and every lesson has made us stronger, not just as individuals, but as humans. Elena nodded. We've seen the potential of our species. Courage, intelligence, empathy, and collaboration, these are the tools she has given us, and the tools we must use wisely. Mira added. And we've seen what happens when those tools are ignored. The vision she showed us. Civilizations destroyed by fear, greed, and short-sightedness. We have to do better. The Aurora traveled through space, passing planets and stars unknown to human charts. News of their encounter with the alien queen would eventually spread, but the crew understood that the real story was not just about the queen, or her technology, or her power. It was about what humanity had learned. Aiden leaned back in his chair, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. We're not just explorers anymore. We're guardians, students, and ambassadors. The Queen trusted us, and that means we have to honor that trust in everything we do. Elena studied the stars outside the viewport. It's more than knowledge. It's wisdom. She's shown us the path, but we have to walk it ourselves and guide others when the time comes. Max spoke with quiet determination. I've never felt anything like this. It's not just science or technology, it's understanding life itself, and that is something worth protecting. The crew reflected on their journey, the trials of the labyrinth, the creatures that tested their courage, the storm that required creativity and empathy, and finally the trust of the Queen. Each challenge had shaped them, teaching lessons that went far beyond any human training or expectation. As the ship approached a distant human colony, the team prepared to share their experiences. They knew the knowledge they carried would inspire a new generation of explorers, scientists, and diplomats, but they also knew it would require careful guidance. Knowledge without wisdom could be dangerous. Aiden spoke to the crew, his voice steady and full of conviction. We've been given a rare gift. The Queen has shown us what humanity can be at its best. We honor her by living up to it. We honor her by teaching others, by protecting life, by choosing wisely. Elena smiled. We've been trusted with more than just knowledge. We've been trusted with a vision of what we can become. That's a responsibility, but it's also an incredible opportunity, Mira added, and the universe will test us again. We will face challenges, dangers, and choices we cannot yet imagine. But now, we are ready. Together. The Aurora entered the orbit of the colony planet, the sun reflecting off its blue oceans and green continents. Communication channels opened as the crew prepared to report their findings. The story of the alien queen, the labyrinth, and the trials would inspire countless others, but the true lesson would be in action, not words. Aiden looked at the horizon, thinking of the Queen and her words. Strength is not measured by power but by wisdom and compassion. He realized that humanity's future was not just in exploration, but in how they chose to act in every moment. Courage without wisdom could destroy, but courage guided by understanding could build civilizations, save lives, and even shape the galaxy. The crew worked together to transmit their findings, carefully documenting the trials, the creatures, and the wisdom of the Queen. But they also noted the lessons that could not be measured: unity, empathy, patience, and the understanding that every action had consequence. As the messages left the Aurora, traveling across space to reach distant human settlements, the crew felt a sense of accomplishment and purpose. They were no longer ordinary explorers. They were representatives of humanity's potential. Max spoke, quietly, almost to himself. We've seen what's possible, and now it's up to us to make it real. Elena nodded. We can't forget what we've learned. We can't forget the trust she gave us. That trust, it's the greatest gift. Mira added, and it's a reminder that courage, intelligence, and compassion together are what make us truly human. Aiden looked at his team, proud and resolute. The universe is vast and there are more trials ahead, more discoveries, and more opportunities to learn. But we are ready. We carry the Queen's trust and we carry the best of ourselves. As the Aurora moved further into space, leaving the colony planet behind, the crew gazed out at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, filled with unknown worlds, challenges, and mysteries. But they no longer feared the unknown. They understood that with unity, courage, and wisdom, humanity could face anything. The alien queen's final words echoed in their minds. Go forth, humans. Protect, learn, and guide. Your trials are not over, but your place has begun. And in that moment, the humans realized the truth of her message. The universe was not merely a place to survive, it was a place to grow, to learn, and to rise. And humanity, united and wise, had taken its first true steps into that future. As the stars stretched out before them, the crew of the Aurora felt hope and determination swelling in their hearts. They had faced fear, embraced challenge, and honored trust. They had proven what it meant to be human, not just strong, not just clever, but courageous, compassionate, and united. And the galaxy, wide and mysterious, waited for them. The adventure was only beginning.